Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. So, my sleeping pattern is a little bit out of kilter at the moment, and I'm sleeping during the daytime and awake during the nighttime. I woke up approximately an hour or so ago. When I checked my Twitter, holy shit, it was exploding! With the events of part 2 of the World of Warcraft pre-expansion event. Now, this was the part that we knew Darnassus was going to burn. Now, just in case you're from the EU, we haven't got this yet. I think we've got the cinematic, but we don't have the story yet. So if you don't want spoilers, don't watch this video. And I've heard not very positive things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go against every fibre of my being, and I'm actually going to record a reaction to watching the cinematic. And then I'll discuss it, and we'll see how it kind of fits into the story and continues from there. What I will say, now this might sound, what I say now might actually sound familiar based off what I'm hearing, but what I will say is if you go back into my channel and you watch the video where I discussed the third part of this pre-expansion event, which is where the Alliance turn up outside the gates of the Undercity, Lordaeron, you've seen the unbelievably great cinematic that they showed off at BlizzCon for this. I made it perfectly clear in that video that judging by the actions of what was going on and what was being referred to, Sylvanas and the Horde were clearly villains. Clearly villains. And the Alliance were clearly in the moral right, or whatever you want to call it. But because we didn't have the other parts of the story to fit together, there was always the rumour, and it seemed to be quite a strong rumour, that there was something not quite right. There was an ambiguous element that we had yet to see that actually turned the story. Oh, it's not Sylvanas, or it's not the Horde that's manipulating the events. It's such. But we were left without this bit of story until today. So let's see if I actually ended up being correct. This is not an I told you so situation. It's just based purely off the storytelling. Or if there is an element. But judging by how my Twitter is blowing up and the fact that Sylvanas is trending worldwide on TwitTwat. Oh lordy. Let's get in and let's have a watchy poo.
Ah, don't grieve. You'll soon join your loved ones.
I grieve for you. You've made life your enemy. And that is a war you'll never win.
Burn it. Burn it!
Really? A soldier gets it. Oh, okay. So you're the bad guy then. Wow. Okay, there's no ambiguity here at all. Sylvanas is just flat out the bad guy. Okay. I get why people are really pissed off. First of all, can I just say, I thought the cinematic was beautiful. I thought it was beautifully drawn, and I actually thought the writing was pretty good in it. Now, if the whole point of the cinematic is to set the Horde up as the villains and Sylvanas as a bad guy, then the cinematic has succeeded perfectly. Because that is exactly what's happened. There is no shades of grey here. There is no ambiguity here at all. Sylvanas is just an out-and-out villain. There are shades of Garrosh 2.0. That's not good, because Garrosh displayed some developing leadership in Cataclysm and then in Mists. Bad guy! And Garrosh wasn't anywhere near as beloved as Sylvanas. Sylvanas, of course, has been head of the Forsaken. I first rolled a Forsaken character when I joined the game in 2007. So she's been with the game for almost 14 years, and this seems a very bizarre turn of events. In actual fact, it doesn't make a lot of sense in a couple of reasons. Number one, why she just suddenly makes a complete and utter change to bad guy! And number two, although it's well written and the soldier said, "You've made life your enemy," if you've been watching any of Sylvanas' development in recent years, that's actually a contradiction. Sylvanas is desperate to hold on to life. She's desperate to hold on to life. Even though she's dead, she's an undead. She's desperate not to die because she knows that when she dies, there's just the darkness waiting for her. She's experienced it. She's died a couple of times and been brought back by her Valkyrie, but they are diminishing in numbers, if not already expired. So the next time she goes, it's a permanent kind of business. Clearly no warlocks with soul stones there. So in that regard, Sylvanas hasn't declared war against life. She is desperate to hold on to the life that she has. So that didn't make a lot of sense. I look. Can I just say? I really would urge calm right now. In as much as this is a narrative event which is going on. Yes, it's ticking a lot of people off that Sylvanas is just out and out bad. There is more story to come over the course of time. So is she being manipulated by an old god? Is she being manipulated elsewhere? But it doesn't appear to, and I think that's the frustrating element. There's been nothing. I think if it turns out that Sylvanas is being controlled or manipulated by like Enzoth or whatever, I know that's not how you pronounce the name, it's just what I got, Enzoth or whatever, then it would seem like a retroactive fix to the character because nothing's been set up in advance. So it would kind of feel like, oh God, we need to try and fix this sort of error that we've made with the character of Sylvanas. I mean, the whole point of not making one of the okay, when people ask me about how do you feel about Battle for Azeroth, I was really concerned anyway. Because number one, it's not the first time we've had a Horde versus Alliance expansion, Cataclysm, Mists of Pandaria, and now this one again, which were heavy themed Horde versus Alliance. So I was disappointed that the theme wasn't something like Ashara or the Old Gods, something more focused towards that as opposed to let's fight because Blizzard have purchased MLG and they really want to boost WoW PvP as an esport, which is what this expansion's all about, by the way, folks. I was really kind of like concerned that when you pit the Horde versus Alliance, hi, my cat is just seen a cutscene. She's disgusted. Only joking. When you pit the Horde against the Alliance, because half your audience play the Horde and half your audience play the Alliance, you can't have an out-and-out winner. You've got to have parity. So my concern was always the expansion wouldn't really go anywhere because you can't portray one side as the bad guys and one side as the good guys because that completely tilts the balance of power between the two factions. This cinematic clearly defines the Horde as the bad guys. But more disappointingly, I would say, is why was Sylvanas just kind of triggered by just a regular soldier on the ground. You know, she didn't say anything really that should trigger the character of Sylvanas. Sylvanas is a very calculating character throughout the lifespan of WoW. She has displayed great levels of cool-headedness, especially with Garrosh, while dealing with her own little projects on the side. It doesn't seem in character whatsoever that she would get so triggered just because somebody said you've declared war on life and you can't win that war. And, you know, Sylvanas has never displayed these sort of, low self-esteem, sort of high ego traits which would make her react in such a way. So I think the disappointment stems from the fact that this does appear completely out of character. Excuse me, completely out of character for Sylvanas. I'm going through puberty, so my voice might break the odd time, or I might have just woken up an hour ago. It doesn't matter. So yeah, it does appear to be completely out of character for Sylvanas. I understand frustration. Please don't take to Twitter and start shouting at Christy Golden or stuff like that. That's not going to help matters, people. It's not at all. If you want to, voice your displeasure about it, sure, there's forums. If you got your own personal Facebook and Twitter to go, fuck this or fuck that. So the Horde are bad. How do you feel about that, Horde? You're bad. Now, going forward, it does make sense in terms of now that I've experienced the third part, I've experienced the scenario from both perspectives, Horde and Alliance, for the attack on Lordaeron. It makes a lot of sense about other people's motivations in that. But the Horde are bad guys. And Sylvanas is a bad guy! Description box down below. Go for it. Let me know what you think. Voice your pleasure or displeasure. Discuss where you think the story could go. Have they irreparably damaged Sylvanas now? I think because there's been no setup for anything else. There's been no hints or threads or possibilities of anything manipulating Sylvanas. Anything they might do as a fix if they want to go down that route. That's if they want to go down that route. Like I said, it's going to feel like a retroactive botch job. This was always going to be my concern with this expansion, was how you portray one side versus another when you got so many people playing each side. But there we go. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do get a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links are in the description down below. Now, if I have more stuff for you, take care. Bye for now.